The rain hammered the roof of the old Brooklyn brownstone like fists on a coffin lid, but it was the silence inside that choked me. My little brother, Theo, stood in the doorway of our childhood kitchen, his 17-year-old frame trembling, a kitchen knife clutched in his blood-smeared hand, not from slashing his wrists, thank God, but from the jagged gash across his palm where he'd dropped it in a blind panic. "Elias," he whispered, voice cracking like thunder in the distance. "I can't do this anymore. Mom and Dad are gone, and I'm just fucking broken." I dropped my duffel bag from the cross-country flight, the thud echoing like a gunshot, and crossed the room in 3 strides, wrenching the knife from his grip before he could think twice. His eyes, those wide, storm-gray eyes that had always mirrored mine, locked onto my face, pleading for something I wasn't sure I could give, something that had been festering in the dark corners of my soul since the day our parents' car spun out on that icy Montana highway 6 months ago. In that moment, with the storm raging outside and the metallic tang of blood hanging in the air, I knew we'd crossed a line neither of us could uncross. Alone in this crumbling house, 2 brothers bound by grief, and me, ready to offer him not just salvation, but a love that would damn us both. The flight from LA had been a blur of recycled air and bad coffee, my mind replaying the frantic voicemail Theo left at 3 a.m. "Elias, it's me. I tried. Call me back. Please." I'd been staring at my phone in the dim glow of my studio apartment, the one with the Hollywood sign mocking me from the window, when the words finally sank in. Suicide. My kid brother, the one who'd idolized me since we were kids building forts in the backyard of this very house, had tried to end it all. And I, the big-shot screenwriter who'd fled to the West Coast 5 years ago chasing dreams and dodging demons, hadn't been there. By the time I burst through the front door, the paramedics had already come and gone. Theo had chickened out, or maybe some guardian angel had whispered in his ear. The living room was a war zone. Overturned lamp, shattered photo frame with Mom and Dad's wedding picture staring up from the floor like accusatory ghosts. Theo was in the kitchen, bandaging his hand with shaking fingers, his oversized hoodie swallowing his lanky frame. At 17, he was all limbs and shadows, the baby fat long gone, replaced by the hollow cheeks of someone who'd stopped eating to match the emptiness inside. "Elias," his voice was small, swallowed by the downpour. He looked up, and God, it hit me like a freight train, those eyes, so like mine but softer, more fragile, brimming with a pain that clawed at my chest. I knelt beside him, prying the gauze from his unresisting fingers. "Hey, kiddo. It's me. I'm here." My voice cracked on the last word, betraying the rock I'd tried to build around my heart. Up close, I could see the fresh bruises on his knuckles, not from the knife, but from pounding the wall, maybe, or something worse. The kind of rage that comes from loving too hard and losing everything. He leaned into me without warning, his head dropping to my shoulder, and I froze. Theo had always been the affectionate one, even as kids, climbing into my bed during thunderstorms, stealing my hoodies because they smelled like safety. But this was different. His body pressed against mine, warm and desperate, and a traitorous heat bloomed low in my gut, the kind I'd buried under one-night stands and script deadlines. I shoved it down, hard. He was my brother. My little brother. The one I'd sworn to protect when Dad taught us to throw punches in the garage, back when life was baseball games and barbecues in the shadow of the Rockies. We'd grown up in Billings, Montana, wide skies, narrow minds. Dad was a mechanic, Mom a schoolteacher, the kind of all-American family that waved flags on the 4th and whispered prayers at dinner. Elias and Theo Hawthorne, inseparable, or so everyone thought. But when I came out at 16, fireworks exploding over the Little Bighorn on Independence Day cracked something in us. Dad's face had gone stone cold. Mom's eyes filled with tears she called worry for your soul. They loved me, sure, in that conditional, church pew way, but Theo? He was their redemption project. The straight-A golden boy who'd marry some cheerleader and give them grandkids. I left for LA. The day after high school graduation, a full ride to USC burning a hole in my pocket, promising to send money home. Theo begged me to stay, his 13-year-old voice breaking on the porch as my beat-up Chevy rattled away. Don't leave me here alone, Eli. I did anyway, chasing scripts about broken hearts I couldn't admit were my own. Now, here we were, orphans in a house that smelled like mothballs and regret. I finished wrapping his hand, my fingers lingering too long on his wrist, feeling the erratic pulse beneath. Talk to me, Theo. What happened? He pulled back, wiping his nose on his sleeve, the gesture so boyish it twisted the knife deeper. Everything. School's a joke. Kids whispering about the faggot's brother since you left. Coach benched me after that party. His voice dipped, eyes darting away. The party. The one where, rumor had it, he'd gotten drunk and kissed his best friend, Jamie, in the back of a pickup. Billings wasn't ready for that, and neither was Theo. And then Mom and Dad, he choked, fresh tears spilling. The accident had been quick, a black ice patch on I-90, their SUV flipping into the median. No note, no warning, just gone. Leaving Theo to navigate senior year alone, with a trust fund that barely covered the mortgage and a brother who texted more than he called. I pulled him into a hug, proper this time, my chin resting on his damp hair. He smelled like rain and the cheap citrus shampoo from the drugstore, and for a heartbeat, the world narrowed to just us, two halves of a whole, fractured but fitting. You're not alone anymore, I murmured, my lips brushing his temple without meaning to. I'm staying. For good, he stiffened, then melted, his arms wrapping around my waist like a lifeline. Promise, promise. That night, we crashed on the living room couch, too wired for separate beds. The storm had eased to a drizzle, tapping Morse code on the windows as Theo's breathing evened out against my chest. I stared at the ceiling cracks, mapping constellations in the plaster, my hand absently stroking his back. It was innocent, I told myself, brotherly comfort. But the way his leg hooked over mine, the soft hitch in his breath when my fingers grazed his spine. It stirred something forbidden, a whisper I'd ignored since puberty hit, and I'd caught myself watching him change after swimming, towel slung low on narrow hips. Sleep came fitful, haunted by dreams of highways slick with blood and Theo's gray eyes fading to black. When dawn crept in, gray and unforgiving, I slipped out to make coffee, leaving him curled under the Afghan mom knit. The kitchen was a time capsule. Faded magnets from Yellowstone on the fridge, Dad's toolbox still open on the counter. I brewed a pot strong enough to wake the dead, scrolling through emails on my phone. Agents chasing rewrites for my latest spec script, a queer rom-com that had gotten buzz at Sundance but no bites from the studios. Too niche, they'd said. Too real. Theo shuffled in at 7, hair a mess, bandaged hand cradled like a wounded bird. Smells like home. He managed a half-smile, pouring a mug with his good hand. We sat at the scarred oak table, knees bumping under it, and for the first time in months, the silence felt companionable. "I quit the team," he said abruptly, staring into his coffee. "After the party. Jamie." He told everyone it was a dare. Said I came onto him. His laugh was bitter, shards of glass. Like I'd ever. But now the whole school's looking at me like I'm you. The word hung there, loaded. Like I'm you. Gay. Broken. Unlovable in a town that prized flannel and football. "Hey!" I reached across, tilting his chin up with 2 fingers. His skin was warm, stubble just starting to shadow his jaw, and our eyes met, mine steady, his searching. "Being like me isn't a curse, Theo. It's who we are. And screw anyone who says different." He held my gaze a beat too long, something flickering in those depths. Curiosity, fear, desire. Then he pulled away, cheeks flushing. "Yeah. Well, you're the expert. Mr. Hollywood." I snorted, masking the jolt. "Hardly. Last date was a producer who ghosted me after I wouldn't tone down the queer agenda in my pitch." We laughed, the sound rusty but real, and for a moment, it was like old times, brothers against the world. But as the day wore on, unpacking my bags into the spare room, my old room, posters of Nirvana and The Cure yellowed on the walls, the undercurrent grew. Theo hovered, helping fold shirts, his touches lingering. A brush of knuckles on my arm, a playful shove that ended with his hand on my shoulder, thumb tracing the collarbone peeking from my tee. I chalked it up to grief, to the isolation of this house with its creaking floors and echoing halls. Dinner was takeout pizza from Gino's, the corner joint where Dad used to sneak us extra pepperoni. We ate on the porch, watching fireflies wink in the overgrown yard, the air thick with summer's last gasp. Theo's foot nudged mine under the swing, accidental at first, then deliberate. "Remember when we built that treehouse? You promised it'd be our fortress. Against dragons and dads who didn't get it," I said softly, the memory bittersweet. He turned, profile gilded in twilight, and whispered, "I need a fortress now, Eli." From everything, my heart thudded, heavy. "You've got one." "Me." His hand found mine in the dark, squeezing. "Not brotherly. Not anymore." That night, the line blurred further. I woke to Theo slipping into my bed, the mattress dipping under his weight. "Bad dream," he mumbled, burrowing close, his back to my chest. I draped an arm over him instinctively, spooning like we had as kids, but his body fit against mine too perfectly now, lean muscle from track, the curve of his ass nestling against my hips. Heat pooled, traitorous and insistent, and I bit my lip to stifle a groan, willing my erection to fade. "Elias." His voice was sleepy, vulnerable. "Do you ever feel alone, even with people around?" "All the time," I admitted, breath ghosting his neck. "But not now." "Not with you," he sighed, hand covering mine where it rested on his stomach, fingers interlacing. We lay like that till dawn, the world outside forgotten, 2 souls tangled in a web of what-ifs and should-nots. By week's end, routine settled like dust. I drove Theo to school in Dad's old Ford, the engine rumbling like a beast awakening. Billings high loomed, brick and banner, kids spilling out like ants from a hill. He hesitated at the curb, backpack slung low. Pick me up? Don't want to bus it. Wouldn't miss it. I ruffled his hair, the gesture automatic, but he leaned into it, eyes closing for a second too long. At home, I set up shop in the den, laptop glowing with half-finished pages. My agent called. Elias, baby, the script's gold, but we need conflict. Make the lovers hate each other first. If only she knew. Theo burst in after school, uniform rumpled, slamming books down. Jamie cornered me in the hall. Said if I tell anyone what really happened, he'll out me to the team. Rage boiled, hot and immediate. I stood, fists clenched. That son of a bitch. I'll talk to him. No! Theo grabbed my arm. Urgent. It'll make it worse. Just stay with me tonight? Watch that dumb zombie movie we used to love. We did. Pizza boxes from lunch still on the coffee table. Bodies inching closer on the couch. Midway through, his head on my thigh, my fingers combing through his hair, soft, like silk. He looked up, upside down, grin lopsided. You're my hero. You know that. My thumb traced his jaw, heart slamming. And you're mine. The air thickened, charged. His lips parted, breath mingling with mine, and for one electric second, I thought he'd bridge the gap. Then the DVD skipped, shattering the spell. He sat up, flushed, muttering about homework. But the seed was planted. That night, alone in the shower, water scalding my skin, I gave in to the fantasy, Theo's hands on me, his mouth, the taboo taste of surrender. Guilt crashed after, cold and choking, but the ache remained, a promise of storms to come. 2 weeks in, the real world intruded. My ex, Marcus, a chiseled director with a penthouse in Silver Lake, texted out of the blue, "Heard about your folks. Flying in. Need to see you." Theo saw the message over my shoulder at breakfast, face darkening. Who's that? No one important. Marcus had been my anchor in LA, the one who'd held me when my coming-out script tanked, but he'd bailed when fame knocked, calling me too emotional for the industry. Theo's eyes narrowed, hurt flickering. Bring him around. See if he measures up to Brooklyn pizza. Jealousy? From my little brother? I laughed it off, but it lingered, a crack in the facade. Marcus arrived Friday, all cologne and confidence, hugging me too tight in the driveway. Theo watched from the porch, arms crossed, expression unreadable. Dinner was awkward, Marcus dominating with tales of Sundance deals, Theo picking at his lasagna, silent barbs flying under his breath. So, Theo, Elias says you're quite the runner. Ever think about LA? We could get you scouted. Theo's fork clattered. I'm good here. With Eli. Marcus raised a brow at me, amused. Protective. Huh? Cute. That night, after Marcus crashed in the guest room, Theo knocked on my door at midnight, eyes red-rimmed. He's wrong for you. I can tell. I pulled him inside, onto the bed, our knees touching. It's over, Theo. Ancient history. Good. The word was fierce, possessive. He leaned in, forehead to mine, breath sinking. Because I don't share well, my pulse roared. What are you saying? He didn't answer, just pressed closer, lips inches from mine. The room spun, gravity shifting, and I almost closed the distance. But the floorboard creaked. Marcus, stumbling to the bathroom, and Theo jerked back, fleeing like a ghost. Morning brought coffee and catastrophe. Marcus cornered me in the kitchen while Theo showered. Your brother's intense. Got a crush or something? I stiffened. Drop it, he smirked, packing his bag. Just saying, Eli. Family's family. Don't let it get weird. Too late. Marcus left with a kiss that tasted like ash, promising callbacks that never came. Theo emerged, towel around his waist, water dripping down his chest, and shot me a look that peeled me bare. Glad he's gone. Me too. We spent the day at the river, skipping stones like kids, shirts off in the August sun. His body had changed, shoulders broadening, abs hinting at definition, and I caught myself staring, heat coiling tight. He splashed me, laughing, tackling me into the shallows. We wrestled, wet skin sliding, his thigh between mine, and when he pinned me, grinning down, triumph in his eyes, I bucked up, instinct, need, and he gasped, freezing. Time stopped. Water lapped at our sides, the current tugging, mirroring the pull between us. Theo, he didn't move, breath ragged, gaze dropping to my mouth. Then, slow as sin, he leaned down, lips brushing mine. Not a kiss, but a question. Soft, tentative, tasting of river and rain. I answered, surging up, hand cupping his neck, deepening it. Fireworks behind my eyes, wrong and right, the world tilting on its axis. His tongue tentative, mine guiding, bodies aligning in the mudslick shallows. We broke apart, gasping, foreheads pressed. Eli. Is this okay? No. Yes. Everything. It's us, I whispered. Against the world. He smiled, shaky, and kissed me again, hungrier, hands roaming, the line obliterated. The river incident replayed in my head like a forbidden reel, every stolen glance at dinner that night loaded with new meaning. Theo shoveled spaghetti into his mouth, cheeks pink, avoiding my eyes, but his foot hooked mine under the table. A secret Morse code. I'm scared. I'm sure. I wanted to drag him upstairs, lock the door, map every inch of him with lips and hands, but restraint won barely. We were brothers. Society's rules, our parents' ghosts, loomed like storm clouds. One wrong move, and we drown. Bedtime was torture. He knocked again, slipping under the covers without a word, curling into me like it was the most natural thing. Can't sleep, he murmured, hand tracing circles on my chest. My heart hammered, arousal stirring despite my best efforts. Theo, we should talk about this. Tomorrow. His lips found my collarbone, feather light, sending shocks straight south. Just hold me tonight. I did, jaw clenched, memorizing the rhythm of his breaths, the way his fingers twitched in sleep like he was reaching for something lost. Dawn found us tangled, his leg thrown over my hip, morning wood pressing insistent against my thigh. He woke with a start, eyes wide, then grinned shy, wicked. Morning, morning, I kissed him, slow and deep, tasting toothpaste and teenage want. His hands explored, hesitant at first, then bold, slipping under my shirt to trace ribs, dipping lower. We dry-humped like virgins, clumsy and fervent, gasps echoing in the quiet room. Climax hit him first, a choked cry muffled against my neck, and I followed, spilling into my boxers with his name on my lips. After, reality crashed. We showered separately, avoiding eye contact in the hall, the house too small for secrets. At breakfast, he was all business, homework spread out, questions about my script. But when I dropped him at school, his goodbye kiss was chaste, hidden behind the visor, promise for later. Work called a Zoom with my agent, Karen, her face pixelated in the den. Elias, honey, this draft's steamy, but the taboo angle, studios will run screaming. Tone it down, if only she knew the muse. It's real, Karen. That's the point, she sighed. Real sells if it's palatable. Think Brokeback, not whatever this is, Brokeback. The word stung Heath and Jake, cowboys in love, torn apart by shame. Was that us? Ranch hands in Montana, hiding in plain sight. Theo texted from lunch. Miss you already. Jamie's staring. Want to punch him? I replied, stay strong. Home soon. Love you. Love. The word hung, heavier than lust. Afternoon brought normalcy or the illusion. Grocery run to Safeway, Theo pushing the cart, sneaking candy bars like old times. Checkout, the cashier, a grizzled vet named Hank, eyed us. Hawthorne boys. Shame about your folks. Need anything? Holler. Thanks, Hank. Theo's voice was steady, but his hand found mine in the parking lot, squeezing till knuckles whitened. Back home, unpacking bags turned playful, flower fight in the kitchen, white dust clouding the air. He smeared a streak down my cheek, laughing, and I tackled him to the tile, pinning his wrists. Our eyes locked, breaths mingling, and the game shifted. I kissed him there, on the cold floor, his legs wrapping around me, hips grinding in rhythm. Eli. Please. Not here. I pulled back, chest heaving. Bed. Proper. Upstairs. We stripped slow, reverent. His body unfolding like a secret, pale skin marked by faded freckles from summer suns. I worshipped him with mouth and hands, learning curves and hollows, his moans a symphony I'd script 1,000 times. He was untouched, eager, guiding my fingers with whispered pleas. When I entered him, gentle, inch by inch, tears pricked my eyes. Not pain, but perfection. We moved together, sweat slick, souls sinking, climax shattering us both in waves of white-hot release. Lying spent, his head on my chest, he traced my tattoo, a small rainbow flag inked on my ribcage post coming out. Beautiful. You're beautiful. I kissed his forehead, the weight of it settling. This wasn't a fling. This was us. But bliss bred blindness. Monday, Theo came home late, reeking of smoke and spite. Jamie threw a party. Dared me to show up alone, and, dread coiled. I went. Told him off. He grabbed me, Eli. Said I'd regret it. Bruises bloomed on his arm, fingerprints dark against fair skin. Fury ignited. Paced, fists balled. I'm confronting him. Now. Theo blocked the door, eyes wild. No, it'll out us both. Just hold me. I did, but the seed of protectiveness festered into obsession. That week, I shadowed his runs after school, lurking in the park like a stalker. He noticed, confronting me by the bleachers, sweat-sheened and breathless. What the hell? Eli? I'm not a kid. You're my everything. The words slipped. Bro. He softened, pulling me into the equipment shed, kissing me fierce against the chain link. Prove it. We did, quick and desperate, his back to the wall, my hand over his mouth to muffle cries. Risk heightened it, voices on the field, the thrill of almost caught. But as we straightened clothes, guilt gnawed. This can't last, I whispered. Not like this. His face crumpled. Then what? Leave again? Never. But doubt crept. A thief in the night. Enter Riley. My old college buddy, now a journalist in Denver, emailed in Billings for a story. Beers? Catch up. I agreed, needing air, but brought Theo framed as brotherly bonding. The bar was divey, neon buzzing, locals nursing drafts. Riley slapped my back, grinning. Elias Hawthorne, still breaking hearts. Theo tensed beside me, nursing a Coke. Riley eyed him. Kid's grown. Last time I saw him, he was knee-high, following you like a puppy. Theo flushed, excusing himself to the John. Riley leaned in. Script life's treating you good? Or still chasing that Oscar ghost? Chasing sanity. We talked shop, his exposé on rural queer youth, my stalled rom-com. Theo returned, sliding close, thigh pressing mine under the booth. Riley noticed, brow quirking. You two are tight. Cute. The word grated, but Theo's hand on my knee steadied me. Later, driving home buzzed on adrenaline, he unzipped me at a stoplight, bold and brazen. Your turn to prove. I nearly wrecked, pulling over in a dark alley, fucking him in the back seat, raw, reckless, the Ford rocking like Dad's ghost was watching. Release left us boneless, laughing through tears. I love you, he gasped, first time spoken. I love you too. Truth, terrifying. But Riley's visit lingered. He texted next day, great seeing you. Theo's a firecracker. Careful. Man, small towns talk. Paranoia bloomed. At school pickup, whispers followed Theo Hawthorne's back. Turning the kid, he brushed it off. But nights grew restless, his body seeking mine like balm. Yet dawn brought distance. Eyes shadowed. Mid-September, crisis hit. Coach called, Theo's grades tanked. Suspended from track. Something about a fight. Theo confessed over dinner. Fork stabbing peas. Jamie spread rumors. Said I'm like you. Kids cornered me in the locker room. Violence surged. I drove to Jamie's that night, uninvited, pounding the door till his dad answered, bleary-eyed. Hawthorne? What the? Jamie's inside. Now, the boy slunk out, smug fading under my glare. You touch my brother again. You breathe wrong near him. I'll bury you. Understand. He nodded, pale. Victory tasted bitter. Theo waited at home, curled on the couch, not triumphant but broken. You didn't have to. Yes, I did. I knelt, cupping his face. No one hurts you. Ever. He kissed me then, salt-tanged, pulling me down. We made love slow, healing every thrust a vow, every sigh a seal. Afterward, he whispered, "Marry me, Eli. When I'm 18. We'll run to LA. Be free." Dreams danced, coastal sunsets, scripts sold, a life unapologetic. Yes, I breathed. All in, but fate's a cruel editor, cutting scenes without mercy. October brought autumn's chill, leaves carpeting the yard like warnings. My script sold, low six figures to a streaming giant, queer leads intact. Karen hooped over the phone. Champagne in Cali. Stat. I booked tickets, hesitating. Theo comes too. Fresh start. He beamed, packing feverishly. Our fortress. For real, packing unearthed ghosts. Dad's letter in a drawer, yellowed. Son, love's love. Protect your brother. Always. Tears stung. Forgiveness. Too late. Airport day dawned crisp. Theo hugged me at security, lingering. Hurry back. Love you. Love you more. The kiss was public, chaste, but eyes lingered. LA. Was chaos, meetings, parties, Marcus sniffing around like a bad sequel. Missed this, he purred at a rooftop soiree, hand on my waist. I shrugged him off. Taken, he laughed. By who? That puppy from Montana. Rage flared, but I walked, calling Theo. Voicemail. Text, plane delayed. Home tomorrow. Miss you. Riley called next, voice tight. Elias, check the Billings Gazette. Now, the headline screamed. Local teen in scandal. Hawthorne brother linked to coach probe. My stomach dropped. Article detailed Jamie's accusations. Not just rumors, but claims of assault in the locker room. Theo's name dragged. Coach implicated in cover-up. Anonymous source. Riley? No, his byline was absent, but the tone reeked of betrayal. Panic clawed. I booked the red eye, heart pounding. Text to Theo. Saw the article. Call me. Please. Midnight landing. Rental car screaming toward Billings. The house dark. Porch light flickering. Door ajar. Theo. Upstairs. Bed empty. Sheets cold. Note on pillow gone to Jamie's. Need to end this. Don't follow. Love. T. Terror. I floored it to Jamie's ranch. Gravel flying. Truck in drive. Lights on. Voices inside, yelling, shattering glass. I burst in, finding Theo pinned against the wall. Jamie's fist raised, face twisted. You ruined me. You freak. Time slowed. I launched, tackling Jamie, punches landing, jaw, gut, rage-fueled. Theo screamed. Eli, stop. Sheriff arrived, Jamie's dad called. Cuffs on me, blood on my knuckles. Theo, sobbing. He was defending me. Station house reeked of coffee and despair. Lawyer, Dad's old fishing buddy, bailed me out dawn. Theo waited outside, shivering in his hoodie. You could have killed him. He deserved it. But doubt crept. Had I escalated? Home was silence. Accusations unspoken. He patched my hand, mirroring that first night, but his touch was tentative. The article. Riley leaked it. For his story, betrayal burned. My friend, selling our pain for clicks. I called. Voice ice, you're dead to me. Theo curled against me on the couch, whispering, we can't stay. They'll never let us. L.A. Called contract signing, new life. But as we packed, a letter arrived. Mom's will, contested by Uncle Ray, Dad's brother, sniffing for the house. Immoral influences, it claimed, citing the boys' unnatural closeness. Sung. Peaked. Ray arrived, Bible thumping, eyes on Theo like prey. That lifestyle killed your parents' legacy. I'll take the boy, raise him right. Theo spat. Over my dead body. Ray sneered. Suit yourself. Court Monday. We fled that night. Ford loaded. Billings shrinking in rearview. Interstate black. Stars mocking. Theo's hand in mine. Where to? Anywhere but here. The drive to L.A. stretched like a vein, pulsing with unspoken fears. Theo slept fitful in the passenger seat, head lolled against the window, the bruise on his cheek from Jamie's parting shot fading to yellow. I'd cleaned his face with spit and a gas station napkin back at the ranch, whispering apologies for the chaos I'd unleashed. Uncle Ray's threats echoed court, custody, the house sold to fund his rehabilitation for Theo. At 18 in 2 months, Theo could sign emancipation, but till then, we were fugitives in our own story, brothers on the run from blood that turned venomous. Interstate 90 blurred into 15, Wyoming's Badlands giving way to Utah's red rock cathedrals. We stopped at a roadside diner outside Salt Lake, neon eat buzzing like a headache. Greasy eggs and hash browns, Theo picking at his plate, eyes hollow. What if Ray wins? They can't. They can't make me straight. I reached across, thumbing his knuckles. They won't. You're mine. The word slipped, possessive, laced with the love we'd consummated in stolen nights. His flush was answer enough, foot nudging mine under the booth. A habit now, our private rebellion. Back on the road, radio crooned Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire, and Theo sang low, off-key, hand on my thigh. Heat stirred, familiar ache, but exhaustion won. We crashed at a no-tell-motel in Vegas. Neon flush through thin curtains, bed sagging under us. No sex that night, just holding, his heartbeat sinking mine, whispers of futures, beach house in Malibu, him in college, me directing my own damn film. Dawn brought motion sickness, Theo puking in the lot, blaming diner food. I rubbed his back, guilt gnawing. Should have flown, he straightened, pale but smirking. Nah. Road trips romantic. Like your scripts, L.A. Hit at dusk. Sprawl of freeways and palm shadows, the sign welcoming like an old lover. My studio apartment waited, dust-free thanks to Karen's cleaner, view of the hills mocking our small-town scars. Theo dropped his bag, binning. This is us? Holy shit. Eli, ours. The word hummed. We christened it slow shower steam fogging mirrors, body slick, his nails raking my back as I knelt, tasting him till knees buckled. Bed next, lazy and loving, mapping freckles like stars. I want forever, he gasped, arching. Forever, I vowed, sealing it inside him. But paradise cracked fast. Contract signing Monday, glass tower in Century City. Execs in chinos clapping my back. Bold script. Elias. That brotherly vibe? Edgy. I forced a laugh. Theo waiting in the lobby, flipping a dog-eared script copy. Post-meeting lunch at Roscoe's, chicken and waffles steaming. He shoveled bites, eyes bright. You're famous now. My big bro, the queer king. Not yet, but buzz built, podcasts calling, agents circling. Theo tagged along to a reader's theater. My words alive on stage. Queer love unapologetic. He watched rapt, hand in mine under the seat, tears glistening at curtain. Nights blurred into bliss. Hikes in Griffith Park. His laughter echoing off the observatory. Drive-ins with buttery popcorn. Making out like teens. Cooking pasta in my tiny kitchen. Sauce splattering. Kisses tasting of garlic and promise. Yet shadows lurked. Theo's nightmares, Jamie's fists, Ray's sermons woke him screaming, clinging to me like driftwood. I'd soothe with touches turning tender, sex a exorcism, but morning brought distance, him scrolling colleges, me dodging Marcus's texts. Then, the call, Billings PD. Mr. Hawthorne, your uncle filed kidnapping charges. Extradition pending. Ice in veins. Ray, that pious prick, twisting protection into crime. Lawyer scramble, emancipation rushed. Theo's birthday our lifeline. 2 weeks to 18. Hold up, paranoia mounting. He won't stop, Theo whispered. Curled fetal. He'll drag me back. Fix me. Over my corpse. I held him fierce. But fear festered. LA's glitter felt fragile. One subpoena from shattering. Riley emailed apology. Didn't leak. Jamie's dad fed the story. Destroyed my peace. I deleted. Trust Ash. Crisis crested at an industry party. Rooftop in WeHo. Rainbow flags whipping in breeze. Theo. Dressed in my button-down. Looking every inch the ingenue. Drew eyes. Your muse? A producer slurred. Clapping my shoulder. Theo flushed. Excusing to the bar. I followed. Finding him cornered by Marcus. Charm offensive dialed high. Kid, you're wasted on him. Ever modeled? That face. Theo's laugh was sharp. Back off. Fossil. Marcus's hand on his arm. Friendly? Invasive? Rage blinded. I shoved. Drink spilling. Touch him again. And you're done. Security ejected us. Cab ride silent. Theo's jaw set. Apartment door slammed. What the fuck? Eli? I can handle myself. You shouldn't have to. Voice broke. Not from scum like him. He whirled. Eyes blazing. Or from you. Treating me like glass? I'm not your little brother anymore. I'm your lover. Or forgot. The slap of truth. I know. God. Theo. I know. He deflated. Tears spilling. Scared. Ray's coming. The world's coming. We collided. Desperate, clothes shredded. Bodies bruising in need. He rode me hard. Nails drawing blood. Reclaiming agency in gasps and groans. Mine, he panted, clenching. Say it. Yours. Always. Afterglow brought plans. Vegas wedding post-birthday. Quickie courthouse. Rings from a pawn shop. Symbolic, I said. He nodded, tracing my lips. Real enough. Birthday dawned golden. 18. Legal. Free. We drove to Santa Monica, pier creaking underfoot, Ferris wheel spinning lazy. Cotton candy stuck to fingers, his laugh pure joy as waves crashed. Best day. Nights better. Hotel room overlooking ocean. Champagne chilled. I knelt, ring box trembling, simple silver bands, engraved against the world. Marry me. Not legally yet, but us. Tears. Yes. Kiss. Deeper. Sheets tangled till moon high, his body arching under mine, vows whispered in sweat. But betrayal brewed oceans away. Uncle Ray's lawyer served papers Tuesday, deposition scheduled, accusations flying, undue influence, grooming. Protecting the boy, Ray claimed in affidavits, citing witnesses to our unnatural closeness back home. Witnesses, Hank the cashier, neighbors peeking curtains, paranoia peaked. I ghosted parties. Theo skipped auditions he'd eyed for theater. Nights, we barricaded in bed. Love our bunker. But cracks showed. His silences lengthening. My scripts stalling on white pages. Climax shattered mid-November. Karen called. Elias. Opportunity. Pilot season. But they want you in New York. Recast the leads if needed. New York. East Coast exile. Farther from Ray's reach. Theo 2. Family's family. Pause. Speaking of, Riley's in town. Spilled about your situation. Thinks it's gold for a docu-series. Betrayal. Round 2. Riley, apologetic worm. Selling our saga? I confronted at a coffee shop. Fists clenched. You had no right. Truth sets free, he shrugged. Queer brothers on the lam? Oscar bait. Theo. Waiting outside. Overheard. Face ashen. It's out? Everyone knows. Not yet, but whispers spread. Texts from Billings. Execs side-eyeing. Flight to JFK was funeral march. Theo silent. Hand limp in mine. Manhattan buzzed brownstones. Bagels. Anonymity in crowds. We holed in a sublet in Brooklyn. My old haunt. Subway rumbling like judgment. Deposition loomed. Ray via video. Bible in lap. Lies spilling. Elias corrupted him. After the accident. Alone, it's unnatural. Theo testified steady. Love's love, uncle. You don't own me. Judge ruled emancipation, clean break. House to us. Victory. Pyrrhic. Ray's parting shot. God's watching. Boys. Repent. Relief flooded, but damage lingered. Theo withdrew. Runs turning marathons. Coming home drained. Feel like a freak show, he admitted one night, head in lap. Your world's staring. It's our world. But doubt echoed my pilot pitch. Too personal, exec said, echoing Karen. Riley's doku? Shelved. Ethics breach. Winter bit, snow blanketing stoops. Holidays hollow without parents. Christmas Eve. Tree half-strung. Theo baked cookies. Flower-dusted angel. We made love by firelight. Slow and sacred. Bells tolling midnight. New Year dawned resolutions. Therapy. Joint. Sessions peeled layers. Grief for mom and dad. Shame from Billings. The incest shadow we danced around. It's wrong, Theo whispered once. Post-session. Is it? Therapist neutral. Love's validity isn't blood's dictate. Spring thawed. Theo auditioned for Off-Broadway. Landed ensemble in a queer musical. I sold a spec. Darker. Brothers in love amid apocalypse. Buzz returned. Cautious. But conflict reignited summer. Marcus emailed script notes. Unasked. Worming back. Help you shine. Eli. For old times. Delete. But Theo saw. Jealousy flaring. Still pining. No. Lie. Echoes of safety in Marcus's arms. Pre-Theo. Fight erupted. Words weapons. You see me as kid. Not equal. I protect what's mine. Doors slammed. Theo storming out. Hours later. Text. At bar. Need space. Panic clawed. I searched dives. Finding him in a WeHo dive. Wait. Brooklyn. No. He'd Ubered to my old LA. Contact. Riley's tip-off. Theo. Drunk. Laughing with strangers. Marcus in corner. Ice predatory. I dragged him out. Cab ride venomous. What the fuck? Proving I'm not yours to cage. Sobs choked. Apartment war. Accusations flying. My control. His recklessness. You offered me love. He yelled. But it's suffocating. Offered. Heart cracked. I gave everything. He crumpled. I'm scared we'll burn out. We made up brutal sex angry. Reclaiming. Bruises blooming like claims. Dawn. Tangled. He whispered. Don't let go. Never. Yet fracture lingered. A hairline waiting to snap. Fall returned. Leaves turning Gotham gold. Our one-year marker since the river kiss. Theo's show opened to raves. Raw. Revelatory. Critics cooed. His understudy glow up to lead after injury. I directed a short at Tribeca. Queer Brothers theme veiled in sci-fi. Winning audience award. Life aligned. But undercurrents tugged. Ray's silence ominous. Riley's doku revived Sansa's. Marcus's shadow in emails I ignored. Anniversary weekend. We escaped to the Hamptons. Rented cabin by the sea. Waves crashing like applause. Bonfire on beach. Marshmallows charring. Rings glinting firelight. To us, Theo toasted. A s'more gooey on lips. I kissed it off. Pulling him to blankets. Making love under stars, slow. Worshipful. His body a map I chart forever. Back in Brooklyn. Normalcy beckoned. Farmers markets. His hand in mine public now. No stairs in this bubble. But Billings called house sale closing. Proceeds split. Uncle Ray contested again. Minor quibble over dad's tools. But it dredged ghosts. Theo flew home alone. Tie loose ends. I paced the apartment. Scripts blurring. Worry gnawing. Text sporadic. Ray's civil. Miss you. Then, silence. Call to voicemail. Flight booked. Heart in throat. Billings Airport. Rental to the house empty. Echoes hollow. Uncle Ray's truck in drive. Inside. Voices. Theo's. Steady. Ray's. Venom soft. Boy, you've strayed. Come home. Let Elias go. Family heals. Theo's laugh. Brittle. Family? You sued us. Betrayed blood for your God. Ray's plea. He's poison. Incest. Theo. Sin. The word detonated. I burst in. Get out. Ray turned. Face pitying. Saving him, nephew. Theo, eyes wide. Eli, Ray's hand on his shoulder. Proprietary. See? Dependent. Fury crested. Touch him. And Theo shrugged free, stepping to me. Enough. We're done, Uncle. Sign the papers. Ray did. Defeated. Door clicking final. Alone. Theo collapsed against me, sobs racking. He cornered me. Offered money to leave you. Never. I held him, but fracture showed. His flinch at touch. Eyes distant. Back in LA, no. Brooklyn, silence festered. Therapy ramped. Betrayal's echo, Doc said. Ray's words wormed. Sin. Poison, Theo withdrawing. Runs turning escapes. Climax fractured November 12th. 2026, wait. No. Current date 25. But story arcs. Party for my shorts festival run. Theo skipping rehearsal. Showing late. Whiskey on breath. Needed air. Eyes met across room. His guarded. Mine pleading. Marcus there. Orbiting. Congrats. Eli. Theo watched. Jaw tight. Later. Alley smoke break. I found them. Marcus's hand on Theo's waist. Laugh shared. Rage blinded. Back off. Theo spun. Jealous. Protecting. Fuck your protection. He shoved me. Tears hot. Ray's right, it's poison. We're poison. Words gutted. Theo. I'm done running. Done hiding. He fled. Cab vanishing. Chase impossible. Phone off. Friends silent. Days blurred. Searches. Calls to Billings. Clean. Panic attacks in empty bed. Script deadline missed. Career teetering. Week 3. Knock Theo. Duffel light. Eyes bruised. Needed space. To think. Heart seized. Stay. Please. He entered. Hesitant. I love you. But love shouldn't cage. Talk till dawn. Boundaries. Trust. My control from fear. His rebellion from suffocation. Equals, he said. Partners. Yes. Healing slow, separate beds first nights. Touches tentative. Therapy joint. Peeling. Grief's mask on codependence. Taboo's thrill fading to truth. Months turned. Spring bloom. His show extended. My feature greenlit. We rebuilt. Date nights, no brothers. Just lovers. Weekends away. No past. Summer solstice. 1 year post-run. We wed Vegas Chapel. Elvis officiating. Rings renewed. Vows. Through sin and storm. I choose you. Honeymoon in Big Sur. Cliffs dropping to sea. Bodies free. Sex rediscovered. Playful. Profound. No shadows. Fall brought baby steps. Billings visit. House sold. Ashes scattered at the river. Mom and Dad's. Our forgiveness. Ray absent. But letter arrived. Praying for peace. Love. Despite. Humanity in hate's husk. Back east. Life steadied. Theo's NYU acceptance. My director's chair. Nights. Tangled. He whispers. Offered me the world. You took it. Kiss seals. No tidy bow. Taboo lingers. Society's side-eye. Internal whispers. But we walk hand in hand. Brooklyn streets our fortress. Alone no more. Brothers turned beloveds. Offering each other grace in a world unyielding. In the end, love's not expectations' gift, but choice's quiet revolution. And we chose fierce, flawed, forever.